Hi friends, welcome! We just hit 50,000 subscribers! Bow, 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 bow! In fact, we are well on our way to 60,000. You guys are too fast for me. I'm trying to celebrate these milestones. So today, in honor of hitting 50,000 and soon 60,000 and who knows what from there, I'm going to respond to your assumptions about me. Y'all, some of these are reads, okay? But for the most part, you were really nice. But this was an interesting experiment. If you're not familiar, there's this popular trend on YouTube where the YouTuber asks your assumptions of them and then they respond. It's just a fun way to see what you guys actually think about me. If you're new here, my name's Leeja. I'm a real life lawyer on a mission to demystify the law and how it affects your everyday life. I do that by reacting to current events and pop culture in the hopes to maybe reel you in with some juicy details and also teach you a little bit about the law on the way. Before we get started, I'd like to acknowledge this merch. This is my merch. Yes, you can purchase it at the link in the description down below. It says dump him, which feels just forever appropriate. It's a crop hoodie. It's fun. It's super soft on the inside. It's a little bit sassy, or a lot of bit sassy. You can find this and all sorts of other things at my merch store in the link down below. Also, a quick shout out to the sponsor of today's video, me. That's right, I offer content creator sessions, one-on-one discussions where we can talk about your content creation dreams, how to grow your personal brand and platform, and all the tips and tricks you need to know to successfully be a content creator, whether you want to do it full-time or as a lucrative side hustle. It's super easy. Just go over to my website, linked down below, schedule a session with me today, right on my calendar. Super excited to work with you. Okay, without further ado, let's get into this. I just screenshot, if you will, a bunch of these, and we'll just go right through them. How about that? I am going to my Patreon supporters first. That's right, I have a Patreon if you didn't know that. Get some behind the scenes information, one-on-one chats with me, Discord group, private live streams, all sorts of fun stuff over on that Patreon. So you can check that out in the link in the description down below. You also get some extra special treatment, like I'm gonna respond to their assumptions about me first. The song My Humps came out 16 years ago, and I assume you still know all the lyrics. I don't actually. It's a great song though. I have some really strong memories of going home with my best friend in middle school, Jessica, because she had cable TV and we would watch MTV, and that song and that music video was definitely one of the top ones. But then once I got to high school, I thought I was too cool for school and I only listened to indie shit. So I missed out on really memorizing a lot of lyrics in that time. I assume you carry on one-sided conversations with animals. It's true, I live alone and I have a cat and a dog, so of course we have very deep and long discussions. I assume you did band in high school. Wrong. I did choir. I was a huge choir nerd, and in fact, I did opera competitions. That's right, I'm a classically trained opera singer, and I competed in and won a couple opera competitions in high school. Now it's just a fun party trick. I assume you had a dark/goth phase. I didn't have a goth phase, I had an emo phase. And I wasn't scene, I didn't go all out, but My Chemical Romance was my favorite band from ages 12 to 14. I saw them in concert. It was magical. I was in love with Gerard Way. I wrote really dark poetry inspired by My Chemical Romance lyrics and lyrics by the band The Used. Ooh! And I would just sit around every morning in the summertime watching music videos on this TV channel called Fuse. I think it's out of Canada, but it's basically the emo version of MTV. I loved it. I assume you're not one of those lawyers who refers to themselves as Esquire. It's kind of fun if I'm feeling sassy, but in an actual serious situation, I wouldn't. It's a little tacky. I assume that you can handle your liquor well. In my early 20s, yes. I could do my fair share of shots and be upright. Ever since 25 though, things have been going downhill. And now it's to a point where it's I could never get drunk because I get nauseous and headachy long before I'm able to imbibe enough to get me drunk. So I guess you could say I can handle my liquor well. My body just rejects it at this point. I assume you were a tomboy growing up. Not real, kind of, yes, maybe. I don't know what I was. So I was emo, like I said, but I didn't dress scene, but I did wear ties and band tees, Converse. So I guess you could say tomboy-ish, but I was never sporty. I was mainly friends with girls. I felt girly, I dyed my hair. So I wouldn't consider myself all out tomboy, but I definitely wasn't a super girly girl. I assume you're low-key a communist. I wouldn't go that far. I think there's a lot of instances where communism has not worked. I think I would more consider myself a democratic socialist, but I feel politicians are disappointing across the spectrum, You seem like the kind of person who can suss out if someone is an awful person before anyone else has a clue. I'd say I'm a pretty good read on people, but I'd like to keep an open mind. I have been accused of being judgmental in the past, which is fair, I guess, but I would say we're all a little judgmental. Some of us just speak our judgments more than others. And I also will give myself the credit and say that I may make a judgment, but I am open-minded to have my mind changed about a person, situation, etc. But a lot of times I'm not wrong. You were a gifted child or you were always in advanced classes. Yes, that's true. I was in like advanced reading from grade 1 on. I did all sorts of AP classes in high school. Yeah, I was definitely one of those gifted and talented students who now has clinical anxiety. Another alcohol-related one, my assumption is that you love wine. I do love wine, but it is doing me dirty lately. 1 glass, and I'm a little nauseous with a headache. So I've had to really cut back on it. It's a damn shame because I do love a good glass of wine. And that's on being almost a 30-year-old lady. I assume you're in a relationship. A few months ago, I would have sworn you were single, but I'm getting a new vibe. I am in a relationship. We've been together for 2.5 years though. I don't know what changed in the last few months, but we've been going strong for a while. I'm assuming that you'd like to tell us your big 3 in your chart. Please, I want to know so bad. I'm a Capricorn sun, Leo rising, Gemini moon. And that Capricorn Gemini, they really duel it out because my Capricorn wants everything to be the same, order, routine. My Gemini moon can't be put in a box, you know? So it's a real struggle. Before you comment down below, how could you be a real lawyer and believe in astrology? Let me live my life, all right? Some people get to believe that there's a deity up in the skies who's planning out your every destiny. I get to believe that maybe the stars had something to do with the formation of our personalities at the moment we were born. Is it true? I don't know, but it's fun. Okay? So let me have my goddamn fun. That's all I have to say about that. I recently rewatched Forrest Gump. It holds up. It's a good movie. We watched it on New Year's Eve. I consider it a New Year's Eve movie because there's that excellent scene where Lieutenant Dan's just sitting sad, covered in confetti at a bar. Hashtag relatable, am I right? You seem like you fall into many of the millennial stereotypes, but in the most charming way. I think so, if you mean like clinical anxiety, drowning in debt, gifted and talented, but now anxious, was told that we were gonna be able to achieve whatever we wanted, especially if we went to college and then got out into the real world and realized that that was a lie. Yes. Millennial through and through. Relatedly, I assume that you're still paying off student loans. Yes, I am. Though not currently. Thanks so much to Uncle Joe. From what I've seen, I can only assume you have more than one gay friend and you've likely been in trouble yourself after a night out with them. I definitely have more than one gay friend. I went to Vassar College, which is like gay as hell. I wouldn't say we ever got into deep trouble. In college, liquor related again. You guys had a lot of liquor related assumptions about me, which I don't know what that says, but in college, me and my friends, many of whom were gay, we would sit on the floor in the dorm drinking vodka and we called it Uncle 𝗬𝗑𝗦. And we had a lot of fun with Uncle 𝗬𝗑𝗦. I'll leave it at that. My assumption is that you are going to adopt more dogs to fill your Victorian. Well, I have one dog, her name is Moira, and I do have this vision or dream of rescuing other bulldogs like Moira and having Moira show them like, here's how to be a dog, and to me to like take care of them and handle all their vet bills and whatever other issues that bulldogs have, because they usually have a lot, and just have like a little bulldog rescue, which sounds really sweet. But also bulldogs are the goopiest flavor of dog. You know what I mean? So like, I don't know if I need 5 goopy boys just running around my beautiful Victorian house. You seem like Halloween is your favorite holiday / season. It is my favorite holiday. I've been enjoying all of them this year, but Halloween and fall and that whole kind of spooky season is definitely my sweet spot. There's a couple makeup related ones. One is I assume that you clean your makeup brushes and your makeup cabinet is weirdly clean in a nice way. Not true. I do have things organized. I have little drawers in my makeup desk. My brushes aren't that clean, and I also don't have that much makeup to begin with. Another person said, I assume you spend enough at Sephora to be VIB Rouge, but if not, where else do you get your makeup? Misconception, I don't have much makeup. It's the Capricorn in me. I just want to wear the exact same makeup every time. I have worn the same makeup since my very first YouTube video for filming. I have different makeup for my day-to-day, and that is also the same every day. I'll play with some different lipsticks and some different eyeshadows once in a while, but for the most part, I am a simple gal. I assume you used to be a mean girl, but now you're the nicest person ever. That's nice. You're not wrong. I did used to be a mean girl in high school, but it wasn't like a popular mean girl. It was like I had childhood trauma that I was trying to recover from, and everyone around me seemed too happy. So I wanted them to also feel some pain because I didn't want to be alone. We've been to therapy, we've grown, we've changed. And yeah, I would say generally speaking, I'm a pretty nice person. I'm not afraid to tell it like it is, but like, I do care about the people around me and about humans generally. My assumption is that even though you are an attorney, you drive a humble car and don't have or care for designer labels. True, I drive a Honda. We call her Wanda the Honda, and I do love her. Designer labels, you know, I like the draw. I'm a Capricorn, you know, so there is that draw to like designer things, but I don't have any, and I don't see myself spending a ton of money on like a handbag, for example. I'm a lot more utilitarian than that. But I do like nice things. I assume you've got your shit together. You're pulling off that vibe. Thank you so much. Boy, oh boy, I don't feel that I do. I think that I'm really self-critical, so I probably do, in the general scheme of things, have my shit together for the most part, but I often feel very scattered and like I could be doing more. But that's on perfectionism. This one was a real read. You hate men because your own dad wasn't around. Listen, I don't hate men. Am I cynical about men based on my history with men? Yes. But it's not because my dad wasn't around. It's because my dad wasn't around and then a slew of other men after him were equally disappointing. Do I have very close friends who are men? Yes. My partner is a man. There are father figures in my life who are men who I love. You know, like when I say all men, if you're a man and you're offended by that, then you probably are in that category. There are great men, but on average, based on my experience and the experiences of the women and other people in my life, I'm cynical about men. You tried being a redhead and you regretted it. I was a redhead for most of high school, and I really liked it at first. And then it faded and I got some blonde highlights because I wanted to have hair like Sarah Jessica Parker as Carrie Bradshaw, because who doesn't? I got the highlights and they looked great, but then I looked back at pictures of me as a redhead and I missed that. So then I dyed my hair red, but then I regretted it. And so then I tried to put highlights on top of the red, and then I just had red hair with yellow streaks through it for the last year of high school and into college. It was rough. It was rough. That you're tired of people in politics. Sometimes. Sometimes I need a day off. I'd say generally speaking though, there is a part of me that still feels optimistic about the way things can turn out. I mean, I don't think I would keep making videos here if I didn't feel optimistic about humans and their ability to be redeemed, you know? But yeah, it gets exhausting. I need breaks all the time from it. I think you had to break out of the typical dumb blonde persona by yourself without anyone believing you, but I also believe you still use the dumb blonde persona for your advantage. Not really. Well, I have like pretty intense resting bitch face, and I'm pretty no bullshit, so I think the second I open my mouth, anything that anyone had assumed about me because of my hair kind of goes out the window. And a lot of times they sense it even before I open my mouth because of said resting bitch face. No one has really mistaken me for someone who isn't smart before. Not that it's anyone's fault if they're blonde and someone assumes they're dumb. That is the person making the assumption's fault. But I will say with pride that no, I don't think anyone has ever gotten dumb blonde vibes from me. I've really never had to deal with it, which I feel #blessed to be able to say. You love Edgar Allan Poe and all things macabre. Like I said, I do love spooky season. Not big on poetry. Don't really like it. Doesn't really speak to me. I want prose, I want character development. Poetry sometimes feels like it's being arty just for the sake of being arty. I've never gotten it. Same with like modern art. A lot of modern art, I don't get it. And that's fine, you know, if you love it, have fun, but it's just not for me. That your hair doesn't feel like straw from all the blonde. Seriously, it looks soft. Thank you so much. I do take really good care of my hair. I use a lot of hair masks. I sleep with silk pillowcases. They're not real silk, but you know, silk-esque. I don't overwash my hair. You know, I put a lot of work into keeping it as healthy as possible, but like, it's still damaged, okay? I'm not gonna lie to you. But I'm glad that the ruse is holding true. The most rebellious Capricorn. No, I'm a rule follower. I have always been a rule follower. I loved rules as a kid. I was very quiet. I always did what I was told. I definitely had some sassy moments in like middle school and high school where I kind of rebelled, but not in any serious way. I've always been a rule follower, but I like to keep it sassy as well, you know? And I don't think poorly on people who aren't rule followers. Frankly, it's a cross that I must bear. You weren't out as bisexual at your law firm. That's correct. You know it's hard enough just working in a law firm. It's great if that's what you want, but like, I don't need to talk about my sexual interests with my coworkers. No, thank you, I'm not interested. Your Hogwarts house is Slytherin. It's actually Ravenclaw, but I've had like with some Slytherin underpinnings, you know what I mean? With like some Slytherin hints. Cause again, I'm a rule follower and I really like, you know, learning and things like that, but I got a little sass, okay? A little bite. You were on Law Review. I was the publications editor of the Northeastern University Law Review. If you don't know what Law Review is, it's like a journal or publication that law schools make that are run and published by law students. It's a prestigious thing to do. It looks really good on your resume. That's about the only reason why a lot of people do it, I think. Frankly. I think you're the sweetest person ever who cares about everyone. That's really sweet. I feel like there's a lot of people who wouldn't say that about me because I can be really sassy, you know? But I do care about people. Genuinely, I just don't put up with any bullshit. And some people can't handle that. Sorry. You went to law school because you're a great student. I am good at school. That's definitely was a factor in me choosing to go to law school, was the idea that, well, I'm good at school, so this is something I could do to gain knowledge to be able to help people who maybe aren't good at school or don't have the opportunity to go to school and get a legal education, etc. So that definitely was a factor in it. I enjoy school. I like learning. Was I ready to be done with law school by the end? Hell yeah. Your hair is naturally brown. Don't look too close. But yeah, it's not even a nice color. It's like this weird Midwestern, middle of the road. Is it a dark dishwater blonde or is it a light brown? I can't really tell. Either way, I don't like it. So this happened. You had zero interest in being a lawyer until your last year of high school. Not even then. It crossed my mind because I was a poli-sci major in undergrad and I was like, that could lead to the law, but it was not anything I considered seriously until like the year before I started law school. Once I decided is when I started studying for the LSAT, took the LSAT and went to law school. So it really wasn't until my mid-20s that I seriously considered it. You were a great dinner party guest. Sometimes, depends on my mood. I have social anxiety. So some days it's just not my day. I don't really want to be talking to people and I don't really feel like interacting with new people, especially, or trying to hold a conversation. Small talk makes my skin crawl a little bit. So, but sometimes I'm really great at small talk because I am Midwestern. So if you catch me in the right mood, I am chipper. I can run with it. I'll talk your ear off, but like some days it's just not happening. So it really depends. And that's on anxiety. You're not actually a real lawyer yet, but you're a student in law school. Okay, you cannot claim that you're a real lawyer over and over and over on the internet if you're not a real lawyer. So let's set the record straight. I am a real barred attorney. Now you know. That you are straight but wish you were into women. Girl, I'm a bisexual woman. You are queer. True. That you like dark magic. I can be a little woo-woo. I like some crystals. I like some astrology. I haven't gotten super deep into dark magic or anything like that. It's more just like surface level, earthy kind of shit like that I like to do because it makes me feel in touch with nature a little bit. These last two we'll go over, spot on. People mistake you for being an ice queen, but you're in fact a very warm, affectionate person. Yes, I am an ice queen at first, especially if you're a man. When you get to know me, I'm gonna be standoffish with you, but if you win me over, I'm very affectionate and warm. I'm very close with my friends. I have really tight friendships with few people. I definitely tend to be the type of person who has a smaller group of very close friends than someone that has like a super wide circle of friends. I'm a crybaby, I'm super sensitive, and I am really affectionate with my very close friends. And finally, I assume that you are an extroverted introvert. That's exactly right. I get all of my energy from being alone. I have to recharge at the end of the day. Some days I just don't have it in me to be outgoing, but I do really like talking to people and I like meeting new people under the right circumstances. So it is kind of this push and pull of like how much energy I have on any given day. That's it, my friends. Those are your assumptions about me. I hope you've been entertained by learning more about me. Thank you so much to all of you who make up the 50,000 plus subscribers that we now have here on this channel. I'm so excited. I can't wait to see where this channel goes in 2022. I have some exciting plans. I'm hoping it'll continue to grow and I can continue to bring you exciting, interesting, educational, informational, entertaining content week after week. So thank you so much for your support. It truly means the world. If you'd like to support me more, please consider going over to my Patreon. I'll give you behind the scenes footage, private live streams, one-on-one meetings with me, a private Discord for all of us. It's a good time over there. Consider joining. Otherwise, you can also hit the join button down below if you want to join here on YouTube. That's a flat monthly fee, and for it, you get priority response on comments that you leave on my videos. You also get a cute little icon next to your name, and you get some extra special little goodies as well. So please consider joining today. Once again, thank you so much for watching. Hit that thumbs up if you like this video and click subscribe if you want to hear more from me. Comment below if there are other videos that you'd like to see me make in the new year, and I look forward to seeing you somewhere around the internet soon. Thanks so much for watching. Have a good day. Goodbye.